Shalom. I pray this devil die and get every evil thing the Lord got to give. And listen, I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Come here, Shalom. Come here, Shalom. I know you look at us in the state we in right now. Black people on drugs, and we suffering and dying. And I know it seems like you can do whatever you want to this people. I know it seems like this, but the time for glorifying yourself is soon at an end.
Now, my situation, I am married, but I ain't coming to this truth. I was already married before I came into this truth.
Right.
So now I'm coming to the truth, learning more. You know, I try to explain to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
She don't get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she actually took me to see some of her pastors, like it was some exorcism on me.
Right, right.
Whatever. And they really could. I really chewed them up for real.
Uh-huh.
But, how do I deal with that, man? Like, I'd rather get a divorce before I, you know, like we have a conflict, like with my son. My son got autism, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give him pork, but she bring it in the house, and I tell her not to. And I'm battling with that, on that sense of going back and forth with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how, like,
Go ahead, brother.
like, do I get out that situation?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I gotta be patient with her, like, I'll say be patient with us.
Exactly.
But how long?
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Give me the scripture where Christ said, "Thy foes should be of thy own household." And then and while he's getting that scripture, the scripture I want to give you, go to 1 Corinthians 7. Verse 13. Sometimes, like you said, brother, a lot of times we go through that. I'll never forget when I first came into the truth, brother. You know, I'm from Mississippi, born and I was down south. So my family thought I joined Al-Qaeda. She thought that I was on the terrorist watch list, and I was, you know, she was looking for the news every day. He said, any day now he gonna blow some, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they didn't understand what I'm into. And a lot of times with Christianity, this is what they found out about you, brother. They found out you take this book serious. You know, I never forget when I first started coming to the truth. I never forget. I was in college, and I never forget my mother always telling me, whatever, you know, put your mind in whatever you want to do. Work hard and you can do it. You know, be serious when it comes to your education. You know, be serious when it comes to being successful. But when it comes to the Bible, she said it ain't that serious. It don't take all that. But what you give the world is what you're supposed to give the Lord. You feel what I'm saying? And she's seen that about you, and she's noticing that strength. And really, it's starting to scare her. She's starting to worry now because she don't have the proper understanding. But she's saying the old you now is getting ready to die. And the new you starting to be what they say, born again. You understand? So let's read this scripture. This is going to go into more what you're talking about, brother. 1 Corinthians 7 and 13.
1 Corinthians 7, verse 13. And the woman which hath a husband that believeth not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Now this is saying this is Paul speaking to the brothers in Corinthians, brothers in the truth, brothers and sisters in the truth, and they going through the same thing you're going through right now. They're coming into the truth, and a brother that's or sister that's married to a man who's not believing the truth, he's unbelieving. It says here that if the woman that has a husband that believeth not, if he still want to dwell with her, then don't let them depart. Let them stay together. Meaning it's going to be issues, it's going to be conflicts. But if she's still, if you know, she's not sleeping with another man, she's still cooking your food, you know, she may cook pork on the side, but she's still cooking your food, you bear with her, you work with her. Because in time, you're going to start to see the Lord if you're patient. Sometimes the Lord will work things out for you in that situation. You understand? So and plus you got a young son, you know what I'm saying, in that situation. So you want to evaluate that. So it's saying if the man be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. Now read verse 14.
Verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Read it one more time.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
The unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife. What does that mean? What does that mean there? The unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
By her constant correction.
Exactly. By her changing, by her change, okay, like for instance you, by you coming to the truth, she gonna be sanctified by what you doing. You understand? Like but by her staying, like as long as she stay in your circle, and you continue to change, you gonna know how to fix those problems. The Lord gonna give it to you. The more you come into this truth, you gonna know how to deal with her report, and she gonna know it's wrong. You understand? You gonna know how to deal with her about the Christian church, and it's gonna be undeniable. The main thing you do is you just keep coming in this truth. I've seen it time and time again. I done dealt with a sister for a while before she flaked off eventually, but for a time we was, she would have different arguments about what I'm doing, what I'm into, and then every now and then it'd be there one instance where I said, I got you. I said, you see that? It said, it'd be exactly, she could call about complaining about her girlfriends doing something, and I said, oh, the Bible say this, you know what I'm saying? And then she got it raised up off of it, you feel me? So the Lord gonna build you up. The Lord gonna show you how to fix all those things. You know what I'm saying? You just keep coming more into this truth. But it says here, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife. Meaning, by her changing, by you changing, it's gonna what? It's gonna force her to do what? It's gonna force her to change. That's what's gonna eventually happen. They say birds of a feather flock together. You feel me? It's on one or two things gonna happen. She gonna get with the program, roll with you, support you in what you're doing, or she gonna leave. That's one of the two gonna happen. And really the decision, the ball is in her court. Because what you're doing, you following the Lord. You're not out here doing something illegal. You're not out here, you could be doing something that's worse. Doing something that's worse than what these cats doing out here in the street. But what are you doing? You serving the Lord. You understand? What she's gonna do is respect you in the end. Regardless of her decision. She's gonna have to respect you. Okay? Read on.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
You see that? Go ahead.
Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy.
You see that? The Lord looks at us focusing on his work. That's how he looks at it. And that's how he sanctified you and your family. You understand? Remember Noah. Remember Job. They had family members that didn't believe. They thought they were crazy. But guess what? When it rained, all of them got on the boat because they listened to Noah. They got saved. You understand? Because everybody was saying he was crazy. But when the rain came, they was like, man, Daddy was right, man. I thought he was crazy too, but I'm seeing all this rain, you know what I'm saying? It was like that. Same thing with Job. Job's wife told him to curse God and die. And look, what did Job do? Job maintained his integrity. And that's one thing as men in this truth, in this earth, we have to maintain. We have to keep our integrity. Because the world is trying to take that away from us, man. Every day, you want to break you down, make you less of a man. And that's really what you got to hold on to in this place, man. And really, it's the Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit. It's not you being proud. It's you as a man, you got to hold on to certain things, man, as a man. You understand? And a woman is going to test you to see where you at. That's how they are. The woman recognizes, she recognizes strength. And she's going to say, let me see if I raise hell enough, he's going to back up off this serving Christ thing. And when she see you don't back off of it, she's going to yield because she's the weaker vessel. The Bible say that. She ain't got no other choice but to yield. You understand? The Lord gave you the power. You understand? Okay? So let's read on. Now this is the other case. Verse 15.
Verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart.
Same thing for sisters. If you get a sister, you come across a sister, you courting her for a while, you talking to her, everything going smooth, and all of a sudden she get mad about what you into. You going out to camp, or you growing your beard. You know what I'm saying? You starting to have certain views on different things and that she disagree with, and she happen to roll out. If the unbelieving depart, let her depart. Same thing with a sister coming to truth, and she got a brother who don't want to recognize what she into and just want to just leave her. You know what I'm saying? For whatever case, let them depart. You're not under no bondage. It's gonna say it here. Read on.
A brother,
Go ahead, I'm sorry, hold on a second. Go ahead, I'm gonna call.
And it's so heavy, that scripture so heavy, because you never know, maybe that's of the Lord. Because the Lord might see something in that brother or that sister that the Lord don't want her or him around you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that you trying to do something of the Lord, but you see this is a wicked man or a wicked woman that keep testing you and testing you, you know, it's only a matter of time before Satan grabs her or him, push you to your limits, and then you start doing something off that's not of the Lord, so.
Exactly.
So it's also set up as a, like a defense mechanism. Like he also defend you from, like, try to get you away from that. Like this person ain't gonna never be right.
Exactly. Sometimes that'll happen.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll happen. That's why Christ said, we're gonna go with that scripture where Christ said he come, so I think it's the part you holding it for me, right? Where he talks about the father against son and so forth. Like this right here, that's why this Bible is so important. The scripture said this word like a two-edged sword. It cut going in and cut going out. You know what I'm saying? This word, when the truth is spoken, it can be divisive. You know what I'm saying? Everyone got a gay family member. I know I got a couple of them. And, you know, when I'm around them, I still, show I don't be like, yo, you going to hell and all that. But I be, they go to the subject, I be like, brother, you know that's wrong, man. You feel me? You know that's wrong. You know you can get your woman out here, man. You know you want to have kids. You feel me? Like sometimes we have to have those conversations. And they may not want to talk to me for a while or whatever the case may be. But they know I'm just as staunch on what I believe in as what they believe in. Because let me tell you something, a homosexual, he gonna be staunch on what he believe in. Tell you, a Muslim, they gonna be staunch on what they believe. A Christian, they gonna be staunch. You understand? They not, even though it's lies. You understand? And our God is real. So why do we gotta sit back and say, you know what, I'm a cow down because of how you feel? No. We supposed to be just as bold as a lion when it comes to this truth, man. You understand? So the thing is, like Hamakwa said, sometimes the Lord will move them people out of your life, man, because you special. You come through these doors, you special. He want to use you. You a vessel for him. So a lot of times with sisters, a sister rolled out, man, because she wasn't good for you.
So I got a precept for that.
Hit me, brother.
Ecclesiastes 7:26.
Ecclesiastes 7:26. Ecclesiastes 7:26.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands is bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her.
That's a beautiful scripture right there. Read it from the top one more time just to go into what you're saying, brother. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I find more bitter than death.
This is Solomon speaking. He said, I find more bitter than death. And death can be bitter. When you think about you losing someone that's a loved one. He said, I find more bitter than death. Read on.
The woman whose heart is snares and nets.
And why does it say snares and nets? Meaning her heart, meaning not talking about the most of it pumps blood, talking about her mind. Because in the Bible, sometimes when it goes into you, it talks about your heart, it's talking about your mind. Her thought process. Her heart is what? Snares and what?
And nets.
What does a snare do or a net do?
Trap.
It traps you. And that's a lot of brothers have been trapped from wicked women, man. I mean, you look at the ghetto. You go to the child support office. You're going to see brothers being trapped. A lot of times the baby not even theirs. But they were trapped. You understand? And these are women that the Lord, among our own nation, that we have to deal with and correct. You understand? They have to come out of that. And these are women that we want to avoid. You understand? Because Solomon, and like once again, Solomon was the wisest king next to Christ. And he noticed this about women. A lot of people say, well, we bash women. No, we don't bash women. We tell the truth about women. Right. Just like we tell the truth about brothers that's doing evil. He said he found more bitter than death the woman. Read on.
Whose heart is snares and nets. And her hands as bands.
Her hands, you think of someone like, her bands is like chains, handcuffs. You understand? Her hands is like bands. You feel me? Read on.
Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her.
You see that? Meaning if you serve the Lord going to give you a righteous woman. You're going to escape from the evil woman, man. You understand? A lot of times with brothers, we get caught up in how beautiful a woman is, or her sex appeal, or things and so forth. But that right there it can be a trap. These women are crafty on trapping you. They know exactly how to push the breasts up, how to make They got all these different, they got all these accessories now they can do. All these things they can do, you know what I'm saying? You know, the lipo stuff, they got all these things the white man gave them to get power over you. You understand? Because what was one of the things Eve wanted? Eve wanted power.
Yeah.
And the serpent said that she would get power. She would be like God. You understand? And that's what America, once again, the whore that set on the mother of harlots. Why? Because this is where you learn how to be a whore. This is the mother when Revelation is talking about. This is where a woman learned how to be a whore. She learned how to expose herself. You understand? To get attention. All these different things. You see? Okay, any more in that support yet?
But the sinner shall be taken by her.
You see that? A sinner gonna be taken by her, man. Why? Because he's looking for the wrong thing. With a woman, I'll never forget General Muhammad said, mentioned this before, marrying a woman is like buying a house. You wanna look, you wanna examine the property, you wanna see who's been around it, who's been living in it. You wanna see all these things. The same thing with, with marriage. That's why marriage, going back into marriage, man, that's why the father is so important, the man is so important in the household. Because in the scriptures, when a man wanted to court a sister, right, he had to go to the father. And these are things that we're going to eventually have to get back to as a nation. You understand? All over. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to just be no willy-nilly. It's going to be, okay, you want to talk to her? I know her father. You go speak to her father first. And that right there, that keeps your honor intact. You understand? Now you're going to know, okay, this brother, what's the things he got to work on if you want to court my daughter? Or if he's going to be a good fit. You understand? And then that agreement is made and both fathers will sit at the table. You feel me? Because it was now you joining your family to another family. Now we you know what I'm saying? It's once again, that nation building is there. Because now we understood what marriage was. Now how we going to have that with having two men laying in bed together?
Right.
How we going to ever build a nation with that?
Right.
We can't do that. We can't do that. So that has to be eliminated. It has to be eliminated in order for us to be fruitful and multiply. Like the Bible said. Two men cannot be fruitful and multiply. So neither can two women. So now that's out the equation. You understand? All right. Any more in that support yet?
Lots.
Okay, so yeah, that brother right there, that's just some scriptures that you can, you know what I'm saying, to read and dwell on, man, and meditate on. And if any questions you have too, man, you can call one of the captains or the generals, man, or the officers down here, and they'll point you in the right direction. Because I know sometimes it's more to it than that. A lot of times with Eve, and they come with different things. I know, but I've been down that road right with you. I know, man. It takes counsel, but you can beat it. You can beat it because why? Because Christ beat it. Christ conquered all of this. So we can do the same for sure. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, go ahead, soldier.
Could you break down the laws on divorce?
Divorce? Okay, let's go into divorce right quick. All right.
So I had a precept in Matthew.
Oh yeah, let's get that first, and then we're gonna go into the laws on divorce. Okay.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother.
You see that this is the variance meaning what? What does variance mean? Say what now? Someone said. Go ahead.
Separated.
Right. It's variance meaning you're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have conflict. You right? So you came to set a man. Who's saying this now? Christ. This is Christ saying this. This conflict. Hold on. Now a lot of people say Christ come to bring everybody together. I keep hearing that everywhere I go. You know, I'm hearing that with Jehovah's Witnesses, everybody. It said he come to set a man at variance with who?
His father, against his father.
Why? Because if you follow Christ, it's going to be some conflict.
Damn right.
They don't understand who Christ was, man. Christ was a revolutionary. You understand? Let me tell you something. When Christ was on the scene, he shook up the power structure of Rome. Christ caused such a stir that the religious leaders, a.k.a. the NAACP, the Congressional Black Caucus, all the rest of them big-headed Negroes, got so upset, they got the white man on the phone. Said, we got a problem down here. We got a problem. He's speaking of another kingdom. He's speaking of another way of life, other than your life. You understand? And they had Christ crucified. Now with a man that bringing everybody together, why would you want to crucify him if he loved everybody? Evidently, he didn't love everybody. And everybody wasn't in his program. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
And the daughter against her mother,
And the daughter against her mother. Read on.
and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Uh-huh.
Verse 36. And a man's foes shall be thy of his own household.
This is how you know you're in the truth. Don't ever forget this. Your foe is going to be of your own household. You understand? The scripture says a prophet is not without honor. It's a scripture that go in there too. Talking about, I'm sorry, go ahead, Yelai.
So can I get that script one more time? That chapter and verse, Papa Phil?
Matthew chapter 10, verse 35 to 36.
Mm-hmm. So this is Christ talking about the division is going to come. It's going to come because what? You're going to have brothers that's going to come into the light and going to change their life, and you're going to have ones that want to stay the same. And there's going to be some conflict. You're not going to be able to hang out with the same people you used to hang out with because they're going to have a different agenda. They're going to want to get high. You understand? I never get my cousin, man. I'm around him, and he like, man, like I got to get high in order for him to get high. It's like, man, he wants, I ain't stopping you, brother. I ain't stopping you from doing what you want to do. He's like, man, see, that's why I don't want to get high, man, because you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? You messing up everybody. Because I don't want to, because it's conscious, you feel me? He need that peer pressure. And peer pressure can be a good thing. You understand? On the right-hand side. Because what we supposed to do, we got the most powerful way of influencing our people. I mean, you look at music, you look at everything we do, fashion. We got ways of influencing our people to the right way. But we use it on the left-hand side. You feel me? And if you stand on what the Lord said, they're going to start to say, man, let me see what this brother about, man. So what is the Bible say? They're going to start to ask. And they're going to start to see that, man, this brother right here, he's serious about what he believes in. And there got to be some truth to it. You understand? And that's our goal, is to influence these young brothers out here in these streets, man, and show them it's another way. There's another way to be hardcore. You understand? It's another way to be righteous. You can still get respect out here doing what's right. Okay? Give me some more.
Come. Verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
Listen, that's cold right there, man. Christ said, if you love your father or mother more than you love me, you ain't worthy of me. What is he saying? Is he saying don't love your mother? Is he saying don't love your father? No, he ain't saying that. Go ahead, Yelai.
He's saying put your priorities on, put him first.
Exactly. Put him first. Why? Because his agenda is what the Most High's agenda is. That's why the Lord say, thou shalt have no other God before me. The Lord is a jealous God. You feel me? You got to be careful in life because sometimes you will put, because of, we in this hell, we'll put certain things before the Lord, man. It could be money, it could be, children, it could be anything. And the Lord always want to make sure that you put him number one. And he tests men like that too. Give me an example of who he tested like that to see if he was going to choose him number one. Go ahead, Hamaquah. Abraham. Abraham, our forefather Abraham. The Lord promised Abraham a son in his old age, man. He already had Ishmael, but he had promised him a son that was going to be his seed. You understand? That meaning that was going to take these covenants to the next level. And the Lord told him after he had it, he said, man, now I want you to sacrifice him to him. That had to be a blow. You understand? He raised him up, man, to the young man, and now he said, man, I want you to sacrifice him. You understand? And he was getting ready to do it. When the Lord saw he was getting ready to do it, the Lord had an angel stop. You understand? Because he wanted to see where his heart was, man. And the Lord called Abraham his friend. That's heavy right there, brother. You understand? That's the bloodline we come from. You feel me? That's the blood run through our veins. You understand? And that's how we supposed to be with the Lord, man. We ain't supposed to let nothing get in the way of his agenda. You understand? Nothing get in the way of what he say. Because guess what? The Lord will see that and he'll bless you. He'll bless you. You understand? He'll protect you. He'll protect your children. You understand? He'll make sure that you got what you need. Okay? Any more on that, soldier?
Come. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Go ahead.
Verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
You see that? A lot of times Christians don't understand what that cross means. That cross meaning the burden. It's a burden, man. You gotta understand sometimes, and I know y'all brothers know they've been coming to camp, man. You're gonna be hated. You're gonna be hated, and you're gonna be hated just for being a man. A lot of this, what the Lord is telling us is making us be respected as men. You understand? You're going to be hated because of that. People not going to invite you over to family reunions. People are not going to want you around their kids.
Right.
They're going to look at you like you're a terrorist. They're going to look at you like, oh man, you're the problem with our society. When you have the solution to fix the problem. You understand? Can you imagine how Christ felt? You understand? You imagine how he felt? And he had the power to raise the dead. And they still, what the Pharisees said, they said he had a demon on him. You understand? He had a demon. This man healing the blind, making the blind see, feeding the sick. You understand? Without welfare, right? Without health care, healing people, and they said he had a demon on him. You imagine that. Hold on, and that's how we know that we people of the Lord. Because only black people do that. If a Chinese man, let me tell you something. If a Chinese monk go out there and start healing Chinese people, they're going to put all the rosary beads around him, give him all the rice he wants. You understand? Give him the fortune cookie hat. They're going to do all that. But when they come to us, boy, you better not. You start helping black people saying that. I don't like that nigga there, man. He think he's somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's how they looked at Christ. Man, Christ was a humble brother, man. He rode in on a donkey. You understand? Like he was a down-to-earth brother, man. That's our king. You understand? Matter of fact, hold that. Before we go into divorcement, give me that scripture where Christ said he ain't gonna have a drink of wine until he sit with us in the kingdom. Give me that. Let me show how down our king was for us, man. And he know we going through. He know it's hard down here because he's seeing it. He's sitting on the right hand of the Father. But let me show you how much our king loved us, man, and how we gotta have loyalty to him, man, through what we doing. Like Christ said, man, at the Last Supper, we're going to go into it. Once apart, y'all get there, we're going to touch into what the brother had on the divorcement, the law on divorcement. Okay? Let me know when you get it, Sapar, y'all. All right. Okay, and while he's looking for that, Hamaqual, hold Deuteronomy 24:3.
I got it.
You got it? Go ahead.
Matthew 26 and 29.
Mm-hmm.
But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom.
Read it one more time.
Come on. But I say unto you,
This is before he getting ready to get crucified. This is around the time of the Passover. Okay, they're having the Passover, right? He's sitting down with the 12 disciples. One more time.
Matthew 26 and 29.
Matthew 26 and 29. Okay.
But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
You see that? Before he left, and Christ loved wine. He loved wine, man. One of his first miracles recorded was turning water into wine. You understand? They said they tried to accuse him of being a wine because he liked to drink. He liked to get his drink on, man. And he wasn't a drunkard, but he liked to drink. He liked wine, like we all do. And he said, man, I want, when I'm leaving this time, I won't drink the wine again meaning wine, until we sit in the kingdom together. You imagine, he's sitting up there all that time, he had no drinks in that. You imagine that now. You imagine how a black man feel. You feel me?
Come.
But guess he waiting on. He said, man, I got so much love for my brothers down there in Baltimore, man. I'm waiting to have that drink. Till we sit down at the table in the kingdom, man. When our enemies are put to flight. When we got peace. When our children know who their father is. You understand? When we able to have land and sheep and goats and all these things and have our own land. Right. Have our own water. Clean water. Not like in Flint. But clean water. You understand? Have our own well. He said, I'm going to wait till that day come before I have that drink. Now that's love. That's hardcore love right there, brother. And that right there, love, you wouldn't have died for. You feel me? Because he gave his life for us, man. You understand? I just want to bring it out, man, because that's a heavy point. All right? So let's go into divorcement. If you can take me to Deuteronomy, what I had you holding Hamaqual was it Deuteronomy 23, 24 and 3. Okay, so this is with Moses in the wilderness, right? Take me to start me off in verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, And it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her.
Meaning this man with this woman, right? He found some uncleanness, something he don't like, something that was, when uncleanness could be a number of things. It can be, anything from medical issues or whatever the case may be, or something she do that makes him upset. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a number of things that can be classified as uncleanness. But it's more talking about something that's uncleanness is based on the law, right? Something that she's doing or something that she's about that's unclean about her, right? You know what I'm saying? She may not, keep her hygiene up, whatever the case may be, right? Go ahead.
Salaki. Uncleanness in her.
Uh-huh.
Then let him write her a bill of divorcement.
Now, Moses gave us a bill of divorcement, right? Go ahead.
And give it in her hand,
Mm-hmm.
and send her out of his house.
Right. So that was the law based on the, she found no favor in his eyes because of the uncleanness, right? So the bill of divorce, we read verse 2. Read verse 3.
3.
Mm-hmm. Read verse 2. I'm sorry.
Verse 2, sir. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife.
Right. So this is what Moses instituted in the wilderness, right? To keep in mind, we're coming out of Egypt now. We're in the wilderness, right? We living in tents now. We living in tents out in the wilderness. And Moses right now is organizing. We're trying to keep ourselves together. You feel me? We got problems. Like we got problems every day. You think of the courtroom, right? You take Judge Judy. You take Mari Povich, Jerry Springer. I'm sorry. You take all those different things, right? All those court battles and things, divorce court, child support, all those things, and you take it out of America and you put it in the wilderness. That's what Moses had to deal with every day. You understand? Marital issues. You know what I'm saying? All these things that we deal with today, crime, all those things, he had to deal with it. He had men under him, and the men that were appointed under him that had to deal with these matters. So because of this, it was issues that were going on between a man and a woman. Okay, so he said, okay, this is how it's going to be. We're going to write this bill of divorcement because it was an issue between the uncleanness, right? Some dispute, right? Read on.
Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And if the latter husband hate her.
So now this is the second husband. Go ahead.
And write her a bill of divorcement.
I'm sorry. The latter husband is the first husband. Read on.
And write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand,
Mm-hmm.
and send her out of his house.
Uh-huh.
Or if the latter husband died,
Mm-hmm.
which took her to be his wife.
Go ahead.
Verse 4. Her former husband.
We on verse, we in Deuteronomy 24. We start on verse 4.
I got it, sir. Verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife.
So meaning the first husband that sent her away, he can't now take her back to be his wife. You follow me? Because he gave her that bill of divorce. Go ahead.
Slide.
Mm-hmm.
May not take her away again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled. For that is abomination before the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt not cause the land to sin.
Meaning a woman can't just keep going back and forth between each man. Because now it's just like, it's just another way of being a hoe. You follow me? Meaning this, if you put that woman away, then that's it. Ain't no coming back. Meaning if it was bad like you said it was, no need to come back. You can't keep going back and forth to each man and hop. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. And this is to keep the land from when it says cause the land to sin, meaning this. Meaning the laws that's instituted is to keep the land from sin. Because what happens, sin is like a cancer. It starts off small, but it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until now the whole land is consumed. Same thing with homosexuality. They said it started off in the closet. I was trapped in the closet. I was hiding in the closet. I came out the closet. And now, look at it now. They took the damn rainbow. The rainbow, the Lord made the rainbow to say, as a token between him and Noah not to flood no more. Go ahead.
And the part where it says, "And the lamb falling to sin," is that also a reference of because she can get end up having kids with both of these men?
Exactly. All that.
And now it's like confusion.
Exactly. That's another thing too. Why it's so important. The legitimacy of having a child, right? Because think about this in the Bible, right? A man had a lineage, right? And a lot of times they would have staffs. And on that staff, you would have your father's father's name on there, his father. You would know who your father was on that staff. It would be written on the staff and inspired. You understand? So it would have a staff with your lineage on it. And you would present that before the priest. When you came before the Passover, you would come before the priest with your staff. Son of, my name is such and such, son of such and such, you know what I'm saying, reporting, you know what I'm saying, for whatever duty that you had to perform for your lineage, your household. And your household, not only that, who your father was determine everything about you. Determine how much land you got, how much sheep you had. You know what I'm saying? It was some honor in it. Go ahead, Warren.
No, it's so powerful. Like, that's what determined Christ's seat. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Like you said, they wrote his name. That's what the shield is. That's
Exactly.
King David's name. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's just
Like-
something that I say, you know?
Damn right, man. It meant something to know who your father was, man. And it go to show you, the Lord said that he was going, like, our inheritance, man, our history, like, we damn near got wiped out. But think about it now. You got to keep going up in Baltimore, you know what I'm saying, who, you don't know what bloodline they come from. I mean, you know they're Israel, you know what I'm saying, but who house he come from? You don't know. So the Lord is going to put this thing back together. He's going to put this thing back together where you're going to know, okay, who my father is. Now my son know, okay, my father is such and such, my father is such and such. Because who your father was based on your inheritance. So it was like this then. You feel me? Because when we came into the land of Israel, the Lord had Joshua part the land. Every tribe got a certain part of the land. And then in that tribe, you had different families. You had this family who had this part of the land. Now you think about this. What now? Another man, the woman being a whore. Now there's no way to tell. You know what I'm saying? Now the child don't know who his father is. You feel me? And now all these different issues can occur. So all this thing just kept order. You feel me? It kept order. Okay. So she couldn't go back and forth. All right. So now let's go to Matthew 5:31. This is what Christ said, right? Matthew 5:31. We're going to fast forward up to, you know what I'm saying, the New Testament, okay? Let's see what constitutes a divorce now, okay? Notice this about Christ. Christ did not only teach the law, he increased it. A lot of Christians don't really like to deal with that fact. But Christ not only taught the law, he increased it. He didn't do away with the law because a lot of times in the New Testament, what do you hear Christ quoting from? The Old Testament. And it wasn't the New Testament when Christ was around. He was teaching out of the Old Testament. You follow me? So what he's doing, he's let us know, because think about this. Now we're having these problems even more in the time of Christ, even up to this day. Because now Israel is under whose government? The Roman government, which is white people, Caesar. Okay? So they're coming to him with different issues. They're coming to him about divorce, coming to him about marriage, whatever the issues they're coming to him about. And he uses the law to tackle these things. Okay? Let's go to Matthew 5:31. Matthew 5. First brother get it, go ahead and hit me with it.
Come on. Matthew 5, verse 31. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a written of divorcement.
Right. When it says it has been said, what is he talking about? It has been said. Where was it said at?
In the Old Testament.
There you go. In the Old Testament. Read on.
Verse 32. But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, cause of her to commit adultery.
And why does it say saving for the cause of fornication? What is it talking about? What is it talking about here?
They trying to say, the brother put away his wife just so he could go out and be like homeowner again or something like that?
Well, that's part of the truth. But understand, we just deal with fornication. Fornication is unlawful sex. When this woman go out and have sex with another man, now what Christ is doing is forcing us to deal with our issues. Because a lot of times you find out, a lot of times brothers divorce and sisters divorce each other over something small, over something that can be resolved. You know, and then later on they think about, man, I should have never signed the papers. Let's get married again. You know, go ahead.
So that goes back to what you were saying about if the wife is eating pork, and you should deal with the problem with her eating pork instead of just throwing her away right out the door because she's doing something unlawful.
Exactly. There's certain things you can, like, you think about what Christ did with us, how he was long suffering. He buried a lot of stuff that we did. And this thing, and let me tell you, and a lot of times, let me tell you one thing about a woman. They go through that with you. When after that demon come off her and she wake up, she gonna love the brother. She gonna be willing to do anything you tell her to do, because she gonna say, you could have left me. You put up with me through all this stuff. And a woman ain't gonna put up with you. Let me tell you, a woman recognize when she wrong. When she come to her senses and say, man, baby, you could have left me, but you stayed with me, man. You know, I was wrong. That right there is like, I mean, it's priceless. Because now you didn't want her over. You feel me? And same thing with a sister. We got some sisters that come into the school, that brother, he had a drinking problem. He was going through a lot. We told that sister, man, just don't give up on that brother. Keep making him a hot meal. Make him some soup when you come home. You know what I'm saying? Make sure his clothes washed. What's going on, Soldier? How you feeling? Shalom. And what we do, we tell that sister, stick by that brother. And when that brother, eventually it's going to click. Something going to click. You feel me? And he say, man, you know what? Damn, you was right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we in this school, unlike the Christian church, the Christian church, brother, they are so evil and wicked. They'll tell a woman, I've heard this all the time, they'll tell a woman, you unequally yoked, right? And then the pastor end up sleeping with the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't what you supposed to do. You supposed to be helping the family. The sister come to you about a problem with our man, you ain't supposed to down him. He paid his tithe, he ain't been in church yet, but then you leave that brother. That ain't what you're supposed to do. But that's what they do in their church. Because what they do, they want to keep the woman single. Because that's how a pimp will do that. A pimp will say, I'm going to keep this woman, you know what I'm saying? I want to keep her under my wing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to help her build her family up. You feel me? So it says here, saving for the cause of fornication. So Christ is saying this. The only way you put away a woman is if she deal with another man. Or if it's unlawful, meaning like fornication, like she sleep with animals, something unclean, like fornication is unlawful sex. It be a number of things that's unlawful. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sexual act, right? If she may, you know, go to the church 10 days a week, but if she can sleep with no other man, you can deal with it. Just bear with it. She's still washing your clothes, keeping your house clean, taking care of the kids. Deal with that for a while. Eventually, she gonna find out what time it is. She'll wake up. You feel me? Meaning Christ is forcing us to deal with these issues instead of just throwing it away.
Right.
And why, and let me tell you, why is the law so important on how we deal with our marital issues? Because think about this. We go to the white man court and we make them rich. You think of all the legal fees that we pay to deal with a matter between a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, a child. You know, child support. When the priests were when we was a nation and the priests were in power and they had established the temple, you wouldn't have to worry about a child going without food. You have to worry about that because there was a place where they can go. You understand? They took care of the orphans, they took care of the widows, they took care of all of that. But because we're not a nation, and because we wanted to join this nation, what are we now? We just make this man rich. We make Maury Povich famous. We make Jerry Springer famous. Because we forgot about the law. For lack of a better word, that's what happened. We forgot about what the Lord said. You understand? Okay, let's read some more.
Middle verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery.
Mm-hmm. You see that? So what happens? Now what happened? What's happening now? So now it's just a cycle now.
You bringing more sin in.
You just
from
bringing-
somebody else.
exactly.
To help get somebody else's sin.
Exactly. So now this woman, she's just running wild now. She's running wild. You see? But when you go back from the beginning, how it was supposed to be, with marriage, how the man, the father is involved, each party is involved, they sit down, they discussing, okay, my son want to marry your daughter, vice versa. Okay, this is what we're going to do. He's going to pay the dowry for this. What's the dowry we agree upon it, fine. Deal done. You understand? Let's set the ceremony. You understand? The woman never been touched. She lay with the man. The blood is on the sheet. He produced the sheet in front of the father. Done. Marriage. They had a celebration. You feel me? That is how it was done. You feel me? And then now the children, now they can look, they got their father's name on the staff. They write their name on the staff now. And that child. It was some honor in that, man. It was some honor. But now, look where we at now. But that's okay. We're going to get back to that. That's what you brothers are in for. That's why the Lord called you brothers in here. Because he's looking for man to reinstitute these things out here. You feel me? America's laws are they going to hell. This place is on the way out. You feel me? You starting to see what let me tell you, and how you know this? Because people are starting not to believe in politicians. That fog is starting to get away now. And when people stop believing in politicians, they stop believing in institutions. And when people stop believing in institutions, they stop believing in laws that govern those institutions. And when that happens, what do you have? Chaos. Go ahead, Warrior.
That's pretty much how a lot of kingdoms fell back in the day too. The government started breaking down and people started overthrowing and taking up against their own government. And when you see a government breaking down within, you know it's trouble.
Is that?
You know it's a problem.
Is that? And that's what happened with Rome. Yeah. America is an extension of Rome. You look at the Senate, you look at how everything is formed, it's the same thing. And what happened in Rome is when chaos and stuff started happening, think about it, you had famines and things like that. And people didn't have food. And you had different men who rose up in those areas and started to feed the people. They called them warlords. You understand? But they rose up and they was able to take over territories. And they said, and the people, they paid homage and they respected those men who said, we're not going to allow invaders to come in and kill you and hurt you. And those men, after when Rome fractured, that's when you had what you call the Dark Ages. When black men who took over those, like Septimius Niger and all those brothers, those were black men. You understand? It was once gladiators and in the military and all that. They started taking over areas, and those men rose to power. You understand? And that led to the Dark Ages. You understand? But we go more than that during the history class. I don't know about that, but that's exactly what happened, brother. So the writing is on the wall. Let's go to Mark chapter 10, verse 3. This is another one. No, matter of fact, start me at verse 1. Mark 10 and 1. Okay. Let's see what this is piggybacking off of what we just read in the previous verse. Mark chapter 10, verse 1. First brother, get it. You go. Feel free.
And he arose from thence and cometh into the coast of Judea by the farther side of Jordan. And the people resort unto him again. And as he was wroth, he thought them again.
You see that? What is Christ doing? People were following Christ because they wanted to know. They wanted to know what about the law. They want to know how. They got to have problems, right? So they coming to Christ. Go ahead. Now listen who showed up. Go ahead.
And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife? Tempting him.
Meaning this, the Pharisees, they knew the law. You understand? Right. But they were trying to what? Confound him. Meaning to say, aha, you wrong. Right? Go ahead.
And he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? And they said, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorcement, and to put her away.
You see? And so what did Christ? Christ went back to the Old Testament. But he knew their real intention. Because what was going on at this time, dudes were just doing that, just writing divorce. I don't want to be with you no more. And she's going out to sleep with another man. Same thing, I don't want to be with you no more. Sleeping with another man, you feel me? And think about this sister. Think about what the sister go through. Think about a sister out here that's been with all these type of men, man, what they go through psychologically. They don't even know how to even have a regular relationship in most cases. Because the only way they think about having a relationship is sexual. That's the only way they think a man to stay with them. You understand? And it destroy her, and it destroy what? The family. It destroy the community. All these things happen. You know what I'm saying? So he said that, he asked him what Moses commanded you. Read on.
And Yahushua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you to precept.
Right. Jesus saying like this. He said, because of the hardness of our heart, Moses had to write this precept. Think about this. You got brothers, think about domestic violence, man. You got some people who can't be in the same house together. You think about that, we just came out of Egypt. You imagine, it was brothers killing women in the wilderness. It was women killing men. It was all type of stuff going on. The same thing happening now. And Moses seeing this going on, he said, man, look, he had, counsel with the men, and you know what I'm saying, the Lord was talking to him. He said, man, listen, man, write the bill of divorcement, because this matter right here is getting out of hand. You understand? They beating each other upside the head, you know how this is black household, man. They hit you anything, man. They knives, and ironing board. You know what I'm saying? It be hell to some of these households, man. You hear them next door. You feel me? So he hearing, he said, man, look, I got to write this because of the hardness of your heart, meaning because we didn't want to learn how to live with each other. We hated each other. We came out of that oppression. We still had all that psychological damage done to us, man. You think about, we was in Egypt for 400 years under a race of people that hated us like today. So think about it, they had drugs then in Egypt. They had all these things, that the same things we going through. They had projects in Egypt. You feel me? Amongst those pyramids, and we came out, and we had to deal with all of this. So he said, you know what? I had to write the bill of this divorcement because of the hardness of your heart. But listen what Christ goes further into. Read verse 6.
But from the beginning of creation, the Most High made them male and female. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife.
Go ahead.
And they twine shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twine but flesh, but one flesh.
You see that cuts that feminist garbage when they say I'm an independent woman. That right, you gotta watch that crap there. Women say I'm an independent. Let me tell you, hold on, you ain't independent if you one flesh. How you independent and we one flesh? How you gonna do your own thing and we supposed to be one flesh? We supposed to be one body. That's what he's saying, meaning we supposed to be working in cohesion together. We supposed to be a team. You understand? Now in a team, there's a team captain. You got someone who's in charge, which is the man. But nevertheless, you're a vital part of the team. So she's supposed to know that. But America, what does America do? Divide and conquer. They knew if they could divide our household, they could destroy our community. And they did that. You understand? Read on.
What therefore the Most High have joined together, let no man put asunder.
You see that? Cutting the Pharisees. Meaning the Lord constituted this union, let no man put asunder. Read on.
And in the house of his discipline asked him again of the same matter.
Right, the disciples asked him again of that same matter. Right? Read on.
And he saith unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery against her.
Read on.
And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
You see that? So that's going back to what we said earlier about working out our issues. You feel me? Now, if a woman go out and step out on the side and be with another man, then guess what? It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. You know you're free from that woman. You understand? You're free. She go out and deal with another man, that's it. You want to roll out, you committed adultery, that's that. We done. You feel me? You move on, you get you another woman, man. You feel me? Go ahead, boy.
Suppose you don't know that.
Well, if
Suppose you don't know if she will step out on you, but y'all still together.
Right, but if you don't know the Lord reveals it to you. Trust me, in time.
When nowadays I work hard on the job, till I come cross y'all. Still like I'm a criminal. Trying to get caught, it could be your first charge. Like, man, you ain't getting a man tomorrow. It gon' dip, squat, 5 mile run. lost my manhood.